All right, earlier on, I had a video show you how to mount some tires or get some tires to seal to your wheels. Now, I'm going to show you what those wheels and tires go on. This is our go-kart. It is, 14, 15-year-old Murray hard drive. We bought it used a few years back. It come with a pretty weak engine on it when we got it. I went and bought a Predator 212, and from there we've modified it a little bit, tore it up, went back and fixed it a little bit. I just kind of want to give you a walk around of it and show you some of the stuff that we've done so far, and then I tell you what we might do to it later after we get some more time. Alright, we're back to our go-kart. Like I said earlier, it's an old Murray hard drive. Got a Predator 212 on it. I had, if I can get this in the picture here, I have put a carburetor from like an old Chinese ATV, maybe like a 110 or a 90 or something, just as a test. And I had this carburetor left over from a project I'd done earlier, and I had the intake tube from one of those engines as well, and they have a big curve in them. Well, I cut the curve out and made the ends work. One, the carburetor end, you know, I have the carburetor bolted to it, and then the other end I took a die grinder Dremel and I ground it to match the head on the Predator, and in between those two things I put a rubber coupler in just to see if this would work. It does work pretty well. The carburetor is a little lean, of course, because it was meant for a much smaller engine. It wasn't too bad when the engine was stock, but we had this on her for a while, and of course that bypasses the governor, and had a stock rod and a stock flywheel on it, and the rod actually stretched and the piston hit the top, hit the head, and it bent the connecting rod and smashed the top of the piston down, so then it wouldn't run. So from there we bought an ARC billet connecting rod and an ARC billet flywheel, and we rebuilt it. And I also put a shim gasket, shim head gasket on it to raise the compression. These come stock around an 8.1 or 8.0 to 1 compression. It's roughly now about 8.7 or 8.8. You can tell the difference when you try to crank it. It's a little harder to crank now. I left the stock cam in it, and as of right now still got the stock muffler on it, as you can see. Sorry about the shadows. We're going to do upgrades across the board on the engine itself, and then we're going to do some upgrades with the go-kart as a whole, the frame and stuff, because it's a little tight for us. I'm not very tall. My son is 12 years old and he's the same height as I am, but it's still a little bit tight for both of us. So right now, as you can see, we got these little bitty wheels on the front and the back, and I'm going to show you the difference, a little bit of a transformation on what the little back tires look like now compared to when we put those 18 by 10s on here. It's going to make a pretty substantial difference. Pretty excited about this. So give me a few minutes and we'll be back. Okay, what we're going to do first, is we're going to put this up on a jack stand, and there you go. and we're going to get these old wheels and tires off. Now, what we've done, I've already taken the nuts off. They weren't in very good shape anyway, but we're going to set this up on the jack stand so the tires are plenty high off the ground, and we're going to get these tires off and go from there. I need to walk around a second. Okay, like I said, I already got these off, and see if we can get these other wheels in there. There we go. They're starting to come off.
And you're gonna have to pop that.
Alright, got her key out. Put her key back in. And what I'm going to do, if I can find it, is spray a little bit of lubrication on this. I like this new wheel and tire slide up on here easier. Come around here. You need to come up on the side. And we're going to put the new wheel and tire on here. I don't know if this sleeve will help or hurt us or not. Let's try it. Before I do that, I'll spray some in here. Come around to the back. Thank you. Alright. And get slid up. That'll help hold the key in. I think that'll be about all it's good for. What do I do with my... No. There it is. Okay. This is just a standard nut. I don't have any lock nuts available. So, in a few minutes, I'll show you what to do to help turn a regular nut into a lock nut. Alright, now I'm going to show you how to basically make a lock nut situation when you don't actually have a lock nut. There are several ways to do this. Some people like to use dental floss. I will sometimes use thread tape, just like you use when you're doing plumbing connections and stuff. All we do is just take the thread tape, stretch it out, kind of figure out about how much we want to do, and of course it's going to flow. All right, down. And you figure out which way you're supposed to wrap it. And in this case it goes like this. And you put a couple wraps on your threads. Try to keep it straight as you can. That's not the greatest job I ever done, but it will work. And then when you put your nut on that, it makes a kind of a friction fit, and it'll sort of like a lock nut. So now we've got the other wheel and tire already set up, got the shaft lubed up, and we're just going to put it on, and then we'll put the nut on. Shaft the right direction. Let's lube on it. There we go. Alright. And as you can see, it's just a regular old standard nut. Fits this shaft. Go around on here. We put it on. And as soon as I get it up on the thicker thread tape, then it starts getting tighter. That should help keep it from backing off. From here, all you do is just tighten it up with a wrench, hit it with an impact, depending on what it's used for, and that should hold it pretty well. Okay, we've got the work done, what we were going to show you today, and here it is. Just look at it. It seems to me it makes a pretty good difference. The bigger back tires are much bigger, much wider, look much more aggressive. They certainly give the Kart a more aggressive stance, a little bit higher in the back now versus before. And not too long in the future, not too distant future, we'll take it for a ride, and we'll have a video of that too. All right, we finished it up. If you liked the video, hit that like button. If you want to see more like this, subscribe. We've got more in store for this one. We've got a couple of other projects we want to start. If we get some support, we will go on. And in the comments below, just let me know what you think about this. Like it or dislike it. Think it looks like crap? Let me know. If you think it looks all right, tell me so. If you have any suggestions for something else we can do, give those to me too. I'll try to respond to everyone the best I can. And thanks once again for watching. We're out.